guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing some more university advice, very on brand for this channel, and I'm going to split this video into two parts. So the first half is going to be about what to bring to university. Now, I'm not going to go through the basics of bring forks and knives and bedding and stuff like that, because I feel like that is just self-explanatory. What I'm going to do is tell you the things that they don't list on the websites, all the items that I wish I'd brought in my first year and then subsequently brought in my second year. Just little things that, make it more homely, or just like you wouldn't think that you would need but then end up needing. And then in the second half, I'm going to be giving some advice to get through your first year of uni. So without further ado, here's what to bring to uni. So what to bring, I've kind of split this into two. So firstly, bedroom, and secondly, kitchen. So for your bedroom, you should bring blankets. So in my first year, didn't bring blankets, and we literally had movie nights like every other week. Plus, when it gets really warm in the summer, you don't really have garden areas in halls, so you have to go sit out on the public areas of grass. So having a blanket to put down where you can sunbathe and chill with your mates when you're having barbecues is really, really helpful. So that's my first recommendation to bring. Secondly, fairy lights, or just some type of lighting. In my uni room, although they had sort of the main big lights and then they had a little strip for the desk light, the lighting where the bed was really dark. So to have some fairy lights up, one, looks really homely, and two, sometimes the lighting is just a bit poor, so it kind of helps. Or they have a little desk lamp or whatever. Plus with fairy lights though, when you have prees, you can put them in the kitchen, and it's kind of like a club away from a club, which we kind of did in the first year. And literally, this is a side note story, but I remember in second term in first year, after the Christmas sales, I got loads of really big fairy lights, and we put them up in the kitchen, and one of my flatmates turned them on at the switch before I'd unraveled them, so it short-circuited the whole kitchen, and our whole flat just had no power for half a day until the maintenance came out. But yeah, fairy lights actually can be really helpful, because the prees that we had with these fairy lights, we could connect up to our phones and then change the lighting sequence. Yeah, that was a toy for about a week, so that was pretty fun. Also, on the note of prees, bring speakers, or when you get into your group chat for who you're going to live with, ask if someone's going to bring a speaker, because I swear to God, the amount of prees that I've been to where people just have a phone in a cup thinking that that's doing something, no. And also bring a pack of cards. You can play so many drinking games with them, and you can kind of get to know each other with the pack of cards. So not only for Freshers Week, but for pretty much every prees for the first and second term, they'll come in handy. And plus, even if other people bring them, they get really sticky and dodgy after a while, so you can rotate the packs out. On the going out theme, I feel like this is very a recurrent theme for this video already, is bring some fancy dress items. I don't mean bring a full shebang fancy dressing up box, but just bring a few items that can be made into fancy dress. So for example, I have this army camo blouse, and every time someone does a theme of fancy dress, I'm I'll wear that, and plus I can kind of wear it out anyway. So just have a few items that you can quickly make into something, but also just generally wear, because especially in Freshers Week there's themes, and throughout the year, if you have sports socials or people's birthdays, they always make them themed. So on the social theme, also have a doorstop, because in Freshers, obviously they're fire doors in a lot of halls, so in Freshers you want to have your door open, and especially just throughout the year. I remember in first year, so Lewis, who I'm living with in third year, he was opposite me, and he would have his door open and I'd have my door open, and we'd sit at our desks and I'd look and be oh, he's working. And so that was it was nice to kind of have that, rather than sometimes I feel you can shut the door and you feel quite secluded in your room and isolated. Whereas if you have a doorstop, it feels you're a bit more involved. When people walk past, they pop in, they go, hi, how are you? It's a bit nicer. So yeah, a doorstop is very much a good purchase to have. And also bring a small sewing kit. I swear to God, I had to go on Amazon and find this small sewing kit term 2 when I was looking at summer ball dresses, and I needed to stitch one up a bit and alter it, and I just didn't have anything. So now I've got this little travel sewing kit, and it's honestly the most helpful thing when buttons come off or whatever. It's just little jobs, that you'll need it for, and it doesn't take up much space, and it's just helpful to have. On the theme of clothes as well, clothing wise, don't bring your full wardrobe that you would have at home. Literally just bring minimal clothing to uni, because I swear to God, I genuinely wear the same 3 hoodies, as you've probably seen in my videos, when I'm at uni, and then a few other exceptions. when I went into first year, I kind of brought everything, didn't wear half of it. Then went into second year and culled down my wardrobe and left stuff at home. And I still didn't really wear half of it. So third year, I'm literally just gonna go with like my 15 items and just call it a day, because there's no point like trekking it all the way to uni, to not wear it, to trek it all the way back. Plus when you're at uni, you buy new clothes anyway throughout the year. And it comes to a point when you have the small university wardrobes where you can't put stuff in. So yeah, just be really like selective of, have I worn this in the last 3 months? Don't bring it if you haven't. Other stuff for the room, or stuff to make it homely, you know, whether you want to bring like cushions or like, you know, a few photographs and stuff, they can be really helpful. Finally, like work stuff. So bring folders for your kind of uni work to be put in. So for me with law, for each year, I had one folder for work experience, one folder for like case notes and vocab, one folder for my seminars, one folder for my assignments. So kind of like 4 black ring binder folders, and just banged them up, labelled them up. I did all of that in advance. So then when I got to uni and had all my plastic wallets and stuff, I could start banging stuff in from like week 1. It made life easier rather than like having to pop down to the local Ryman's and sort of that out when you're at uni. And on the note of stationery too, honestly, don't bring that much stationery. Like, unless you're the type of person that really wants like their own set of really nice like custom stationery, like I wouldn't bother, because like when you go to Freshers' Fair or you go to the grad fair or the law fair if you're doing law, like honestly, there's just so much free stuff there. Just use that. Like when I went to law fair and I went to like the normal Freshers' Fair, I honestly came back with about 40 pens that I'm still using 2 years on. So there's no point in like investing and buying stuff when you can just get it for free. So now for the kitchen stuff. My big 2 things for the kitchen are, firstly, when it comes to like plates and bowls and glasses and all of that, just bring one of everything. So I literally just had 1 big plate, 1 small plate, a bowl, 2 glasses, like one shot glass and a normal glass, a mug, and then 1 knife, 1 spoon, 1 fork. That was it. Like, and that served me well for the last 2 years. Now, my reasons for this are, 1, you won't really host anyone around your flat unless you live with them and then they have their own. 2, if you have more than like 1 set, you lose it. Like the amount of times in our first year we had the bag of shame, which was basically when people left their stuff like on the side, and we had cleaning inspections, like you have to clean off all the sides. So it just get put in this bag, and at the end of this year, this bag was just like full of basically of all people like cooking stuff. And at the end of the year, we kind of had to like auction it out and be like, whose mug is this? And like no one would come forward and claim it. So it come to a point where we had this whole bag of just kitchen stuff where people had obviously lost stuff, but like didn't know because they had like 4 of everything in their cupboard, you know. And if you have 1 of everything, you won't lose it. Plus, it encourages you to do the washing up. Nobody wants to have that flatmate who just stacks up their shit in the sink, because that's so annoying. To have 1 of everything, it kind of encourages me to do the washing up, because if I know I've only got 1 plate, if I don't wash it up, the next time I want to eat, I'm going to need it, so I have to wash it up. And I kind of like that, because it just gets you like, as soon as I've eaten, wash it up, put it back in the cupboard. Like, it's a nice system. It also gives you so much more cupboard space, because in the uni halls that I was in, you had 1 cupboard at the top, 1 cupboard at the bottom, and it's basically 2 kitchen cupboards for like everything, you know. My pots and pans and my plates and stuff literally took up probably like 3/4 of 1 cupboard. So then to consider, you know, your big bag of pasta, that's a cupboard gone. So then you only have a cupboard left for like everything else. You'll want as much space as possible, so just don't bring 4 or 5 plates. Like, what's the point, you know? For the kitchen, do your food shop once you've already moved your stuff in. So for me, I did buy stuff in advance to first year, and then I found that when I got there, nothing really fit in my cupboard. So I had like stacks of rice and soup on my shelf for like 6 months because it couldn't fit in my cupboard, and I just like couldn't get down it fast enough. So that's not ideal. Just move all your stuff in, and then, you know, when you're with your parents, be like, let's go to the local supermarket, go and get stuff then, because you can kind of see what cupboard space you have, what freezer, fridge space, and then you know like how much you're gonna want and need. So I guess this is kind of bringing me on to the second portion of the video of like advice to get through your first year. So in addition to my kitchen advice to get through your first year, I would say on the topic of money, budget. Like budget. What you'll want to do is you'll want to add up your student loan with like any bursaries or any money you're gonna get from your parents or whatever. And then you want to subtract your rent, subtract any bills that you might have to pay, any travel back home, like bus fares, whatever, going to nights out. Then you want to look at like whether you have a gym membership or anything like that, any money that you're going to have to pay for societies and stuff. And then you want to kind of subtract that from your amount and then work out how many months you're going to need your money for, and then whatever's left, divide it by that. Then you'll kind of have your like weekly total left, and then from that think about how much you're going to want to spend on food and how much you want to spend on going out. And also laundry. If you're in halls, you'll probably have circuit laundry, which means you'll probably be bankrupt. Basically was like £5-6 a load of washing and to tumble dry it. And to do that once a week, like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but like an extra like £25-30 a month. So it kind of adds up over the year because it's an extra couple £100 just on laundry. I think I spent like £200 on laundry alone. So when you don't really have much student loan, that kind of like is a big thing. But I must say with laundry, because it's really expensive to do, there are so many people, okay, that like do the whole whites, darks, colours routine at uni. One, who's got the money for doing that? Because that would mean that you'd be spending like £15 a week on laundry. No. And two, this is probably where people in the comments are gonna be like, don't do that, that's really wrong. Anyway, I have honestly always put all of my laundry in just one load, because I do like quite low temperature washes anyway, because, you know, save the environment. And nothing's ever ran, and I've been doing that for about 6 years. Nothing's ever ran, you know, so save your money, whack it all in, hope for the best, you know, and that be that. So once you have like your weekly and like, you know, going out allowance, stick to it, and then have a spreadsheet and kind of thing each week, like tally up for what things you're spending, like groceries, personal items, going out, travel back home, like, and tally it all into a big spreadsheet, and you can see how much is coming in and how much is going out. And it's a really good way to not go into your overdraft, because I've never once gone into my overdraft, and I've always had savings from my student loan because of that. And also a good way to manage your own money before uni, and if you have a job or anything, and your student loan money, is to have 2 different bank accounts. So in my first year, I had one big bank account, and I genuinely spent so much money from my savings because it's all just in one big account and you can't really see what's going in and going out. Whereas in my second year, I put my student loan into a student account and had all my savings in a separate account, and it basically meant that I didn't touch my savings, and it kind of enabled me to see what I've been spending and what I'm not, and plus any wages that I got could go straight in my savings and I wouldn't touch them. So it's a really good way to like keep on track of your money that way. So another tip is make a to-do list and make a weekly schedule. So in first year, there was so much I wanted to do. I wanted to do committees, I wanted to do obviously my degree, then I wanted to do like external like sports, and I wanted to do societies, and obviously go out and do all of that as well. So for me to actually fit all of that in, it was a really good way for me to like have a weekly schedule, to think, okay, on a Monday I need to do like X, Y, Z, Tuesday, and fit it around my classes, so I knew what time I had to be getting up every day, what I needed to achieve that day, and it really kept me on top of stuff. And I mean, you can do it like really strict if you'd like, and be like 9 AM Monday, oh, we start this. Or you could literally just do a Monday, I need to do these 4 things, and each one takes 2 hours or whatever, and then you can think, well, you know, I've got this class that day, and you can fit it around yourself if you want something that's more flexible. On that note as well, make the most of first year, do as much work experience as you possibly can. I feel like this is my generic tip that I give everybody in every video, but it's the best tip. Whilst you're in a position where, you know, your degree isn't necessarily like the main priority that you have, because obviously a lot of unis, the first year doesn't go towards your overall degree classification, make use of that, make use of your extra time, and honestly just throw yourself into every bit of work experience possible. So in my first year, so with law, I did solicitors and barrister stuff. So on top of that, I did like media, marketing, I did teaching, I did advertising, I did loads of brand ambassador jobs, I worked with the police a bit, like I literally basically did anything and everything I could get my hands on top of stuff that's relevant to my course, just so I could like try new things, because I always thought, oh well, you know, I think I want to do law, but I might do like work for the civil service or something, and then think that's for me instead. So I basically just tried anything and everything, whether it was relevant to my discipline or not, because I had time to do it. And I knew that even if I did something so like far strung from what I'm studying, I knew that I would still gain transferable skills and kind of develop as a person, and be able to link that experience into a job application for something in my relevant field. So yeah, just go out and do loads of like work experience, and also just enjoy first year. Like do all the societies that you really want to do but might be scared to, because in first year I really wanted to join mountaineering, like climbing society, because I was really into rock climbing when I was younger, and I just never had the confidence to join it. And so in third year I'm joining it. I'm saying this now on the internet, so I have to do it, but like, you know, it's my last year of uni, I'm like wanting to do all the stuff that I'm never really going to get to do once I leave uni, but like you should just use first year to do that. You know, each year try something new, whether it's a language, whether it's a sport, whether it's an activity, whether it's like a club or whatever. Just like go. Everyone's normally really welcoming at the societies, even if you're at like a really beginner level, you know. So just like do new stuff and really make the most of it. Go to all the events, go to all the nights out, just have a really, really good time. Also, don't go home. Like, I mean, don't not ever go home, but I mean, don't go home like too often, especially in first term. Try not to go home because, you know, you've moved to this, you know, new place, you've got a whole new group of people and you want to give it the best chance and you want to be able to like settle in. And if you go home like 2 weeks in, the time that you're away and you're at home with your family is the times that people who are at uni are bonding, making new connections, and then you'll come back and it'll just be that little bit more like difficult to get in with people. Like you're missing out basically on your uni experience. And now for like department stuff, so really get involved within your department within your first year. So with law we had like loads of departmental networking events and not many people went to them. You know, if you go, it gives you a really good opportunity to like speak to staff, ask, even if you just ask them like, oh, you know, what's your subject area, how long you been here, you know, what was your background, whatever. Make generic conversation with them, they'll remember you. And then, you know, when there's an internship or whether, you know, they might grade your assignment that's not anonymous, whatever, I always think that it just goes that little bit further. You know, they're always just going to be that little bit nicer to you. And especially like if they're going to be your seminar leaders, they might cut you a bit more slack because they know you. And my final bit of advice is around the topic of housing, because this happens so much in first year. And basically my advice is just like don't succumb to the pressure of like finding housing in for second year. Like don't get housing that early, because I feel like there are a lot of people that I knew who got housing like within first term of uni. And basically, by the time it came to first term, second year, when they actually had to live with these people, they'd fallen out, didn't get on that well, whatever, like just not ideal. It's just not ideal. Like, you know, there's a sweet spot to find the best housing, but also find the best people, and you just kind of wait to that. My also advice would be, if you're not sure and you think, not really found a house that I love, and it's going to be effort for me to like commute into uni or whatever, or if you think, oh, like I'm not sure about these people, don't bother and just go into halls again. But yeah, that's all my advice. I hope this video was helpful. Hope it will get you through your first year. If you have any questions or want to know advice on a particular thing, then shoot it in the comments box below and I will be happy to answer it. And yeah, I'll see you next week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.